Let's start our day with a cup of coffee, and then we're going to talk about what we have in store for you today. And I take a little bit of milks with my...
You take a little bit of coffee with your milk? I'm not ashamed to say it. I have a little bit of coffee with my creamer.
All right. Latte. In our last episode, we did our first ever dry pour concrete project to a large degree to test the process and test ourselves if we can do it. So we chose an area that was not really critical, will only carry foot weight, and if it fails, it will be fairly easy to remove. So we started by making the frame, and we used 2x4 for this process, and we only made this very specific slab 1.5 inches deep because it doesn't need to be any deeper. Then we poured the dry concrete in the area that we made, in the forms we made, and mostly using our hands, we spread it around until it was nice and smooth and evenly distributed throughout the form. This is a very straightforward process that absolutely anyone can do. After we were satisfied, we water it, and we water it 6 times. 2 times in a very fine mist, and the other 4 times using a heavier or rain mist according to our mister. The only mistake we made is that we use quickset concrete, which is not the ideal concrete for this project.
The next day.
So here we are, a day later. We did the pour yesterday, and today we removed the frame, the form. And again, for our first attempt, I think that went really well. What do you think? We learned a few things, right?
Yep.
And definitely the tool that you make the edging takes a little bit of finessing.
A lot of practice, I
It
think.
takes some practice, and we didn't have any practice. So for our attempt, I think I'm very pleased with it. Are you very pleased with it?
Yeah, it serves the purpose. It was our very first try, and I think it was successful.
So do you think we'll do it again?
It's likely we'll do it again, maybe with a decorative form or something like that, to do something more interesting.
Right, and that's the good thing, right? You can do whatever you want. It is a very easy to do process. And this is a very thin slab. Again, if we were to do something with the car, we'll probably put some rebarb, and also we'll make it maybe 2.5 inches instead of 1, right?
Yep.
Or 3.5 inches. Or whatever, 10 inches. All right, folks. So a little less than 24 hours have passed, and let's see if it can support our weight. How does it feel?
Solid.
So test number 1 passed. Test number 2 is, can we actually take the forms off? They've been kind of overwhelmed with a little bit of grit and stuff, right?
Yep.
We're digging out any concrete that might have been there, and it looks like the other hole is completely covered actually, right?
Yep.
Okay, let's see if we can take that screw off first. You can hear we're not concerned about doing any damage, right? It's like, is it on reversing? All right. First one was not that bad. You don't want to take the second screw off?
Not right now. I want to take the easy ones off.
This is a little more buried, right?
Yeah.
So maybe it was a bad idea to use pocket screws. Learning number 1, right? Our next forms will not have pocket screws. Not impossible, of course, but I mean, so far we have 2 fairly easy, and then we're working on some a little bit harder. So here we are, the forming has been removed. That was not really a difficult process, was it?
No, not as difficult as we thought. And I think that's mostly because we had an open frame, meaning that it didn't close all the way around with the wood.
Well, and it is a small slab.
Yeah,
It's not a very
yeah.
big slab. So.
It's not very thick.
But clearly it has not cured fully, but it can support weight, right? As you can see.
Yes, even it's house shoes.
It is
Sturdy.
not house shoes. It is comfy shoes. So once again, I've been framed. This is our form. We just removed it, and it was not as hard as we anticipated, right?
Yep.
So we're very, very pleased with the end result. It's exactly what we're hoping for. And in a couple of weeks, when the leaves and the debris goes around it, you will think it was always here. We did use the wrong type of concrete here. We used a fast setting concrete, and that was really a mistake. I watched some videos that indicated it's probably the worst type of concrete you can use. So I cannot imagine how good it will be, because right now it looks perfect to me. As you can see, the slab has dried very, very nicely. I need to spend a little time and knock off the little imperfections. I read that there is a trick that you can use a brick almost like a sanding block and it will take them away. But it definitely defined the space much better. I'm very happy with the outlook, and I do like the little edging here. A lot of people ask about using the method with the roller, and we thought about it, but I kind of like this design element. We didn't do it perfectly because we haven't done it before, so our next one will be better. And yes, I'm quite confident there will be a next one. I want to address a comment that I got about continue watering it. You don't really need to continue watering it. It will whisk really water from the ground as it dries. It needs about 7 days to fully cure, but you do not need to keep watering it. The watering we did is sufficient. We did 2 mists and 4 showers, and those are just the settings that we use, and that is quite sufficient. You don't need to overdo it. If you oversaturate it, a lot of times it is worse. So you don't need to keep watering it, guys. This is plenty strong even now, even though it hasn't fully cured. And when it fully cures, it will be, I am confident, as strong as anything else. There is a channel, and I'm going to try to put that channel information here for you, that did a test of how good this works after a 30-day period, a 2-day period, a month period, and you will be surprised how good this is in the end. So yes, we're very happy with this, and we are going to probably continue this process. We really enjoyed it, and I'm thinking to try it with stamped concrete, and I have a few projects that this process, now that we used it once, seemed like the right process for us to use. And here is our finished project. As you can see, it needs a little more drying time. It slopes, the whole ground, the whole thing slopes a little bit this direction. Even though we were perfectly square, so I don't know why it's sloping. Maybe the underneath slopes.
Level. Yeah, we were level.
We were very level, yeah. In any case, this was our short video for today. If you enjoyed it, please give us a thumbs up. If you did not, what's wrong with you? No, if you did not, give us 2 thumbs down to help the algorithm never to give you our videos again. Share, like, subscribe. Let us know what else you might want to watch from future videos of the Edvard Comstanics channel. From Professor DIY and Mrs. DIY, let's build something together.